Here's the deal. The man was impeached twice. He was convicted on 34 felony counts. And the American people still said, he's closer to normal than what we see
Exactly.
left. That's what they're saying. He's closer to normal. Why? Because something that pertains, when you talk about the trans community, for example, and you're talking about the issues that pertain to less than 1% of the population, the Democratic Party came across as if that was a priority more so than the other issues. And so he comes into office. Now you're talking about childbirth, citizenship, and what have you. He knows that's not going to pass the muster, but he knows that he made that promise. So when he shows up week 1 on Capitol Hill and he says, this is what we're going to do through an executive order, even though it's going to be shot down through the courts and what have you, he's saying, I kept my promise. A lot of other things that he's going to point to that he's going to try to do. I kept my promise. Then you turn around and you look at the left and you say, what promises did you keep? Now, you might know the answer to that. I'm certainly not questioning your knowledge about that at all. What I'm saying is what resonated with the voter. What voter out there can look at the Democratic Party at this moment in time and say, there's a voice for us, somebody that speaks for us, that goes up on Capitol Hill and fights the fights that we want them fighting on our behalf. They didn't do that. And that's why their behinds are home and that man is back into the White House and they want to sit up there and talk. You look at the networks right now, they're talking about him. Look at it. This is the latest. Look at him. Here he goes again. Well, you know what here he goes again means? He's doing what he said he was going to do. He promised you he was going to do these things, and he walked into office week 1, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's saying, y'all do something about it. And when you try to do something about it, he's going to say, look at them now. Now they're concerned about these issues. Were they talking about that during the campaign? Hell no. That's really it. Yeah. Basically, he played everybody like a fiddle and has won re-election again. That's really the bottom line.
Yes, the Democrat Party is on the free fall. What I noticed the past few weeks with the Democratic Party, since Trump won till today, they are confused. They don't even know what exactly is going on. Some are blaming, oh, Obama should not attend Trump inauguration. Oh, Biden should not attend. I don't just understand what exactly is happening to these people. They are confused. Or what exactly? Today I reported a video about Michelle Obama. I don't know, stories are surfacing everywhere that they want to separate. Because of this Hollywood actress, things like that. From one story to another, now taking a look at what is actually happening. At a certain point, I didn't want to comment on this, but it is important. I show you some videos. If you're not subscribed and you love what I'm doing here, please click the subscription button and turn on your notification. When I drop, you will easily be notified.
Just the kind of truth of where we are. In all of it, we know Biden, but actually we know, you and I know him personally. And I think it's fair to say that we're a long time at some level admirers of Joe Biden. And what he's done to himself is no one wants to hear from this guy anymore. Okay? Right. Just go to your condo in Rehoboth and stay there. And that's not because we're bad people or we mean people. It was all his doing. All his doing. This entire thing. In this kind of petty back and forth, I would have beat Trump. And no one fucking believes that at all. And then fighting with Joe Biden and Alexander Pelosi. I mean, just look, guy, you had a noble career. Your last act was terrible. Just get out of the way. The party's moving on. I mean, they're really moving on. And it's very sad but that's just where we are. And he created this himself. He has nobody to blame but himself.
Right. Yes, a lot of these people are actually confused. They are moving on. Nobody want to listen to Biden again, but they don't know where they can go to. That is what I've realized. When you take a look at this, you can clearly see the Republican Party is still topping. Watching a video from CNN today, it clearly shows me that people love what Trump is doing. Trump has been in office just for, I think, just 2 days. What he has done, Biden has not been able to achieve that. That is according to the information I see on social media. I don't want to express myself pertaining to that. I want to just report the news on what I observe. Democrat at this time thought Gavin Newsom could be the president, but what he has done in California, Gavin Newsom cannot win an election right now. I mean, a general election. It's impossible. He will not be able to win.
The American people really like what they're seeing, at least compared to where Donald Trump started 8 years ago, right? All right, this is Donald Trump's net approval rating. This is Reuters Ipsos. It's among adults. It was taken the first few days of this administration. Look here. Back in January 2017, Donald Trump became the first president in history to start his presidency with a net negative approval rating. Look at where we are now in January 2025. Considerably better at plus 6 points. That's up 9 points. To borrow a Donald Trump phrase, this is big league. This is a sign that the American people, at least initially, like what they're seeing. And so you see right here, more Americans approve of Donald Trump's job than disapprove. And that is very much unlike what we saw 8 years ago.
So compare the rating now to the entire first term.
Yeah. So it's not just that he's doing better than where he was doing 8 years ago. It's that he's doing better than he ever did during his entire first administration. So I again looked
He never was over plus 3?
He was never over plus 3. The highest rating his highest ever net approval rating was plus 3 in March of...
Your choice of photo is quite
He likes
amazing.
what he's seeing. He's smirking at the American
think
media.
He just doesn't like you.
Maybe not, although he should like these numbers and the way I'm presenting them. You look at January 2025, look at that. Again, you get plus 6. So Donald Trump isn't just in a better position than he was 8 years ago at this point. He's in a better position than he was at any point during his entire first term. Things have very much turned around. This is a very different Donald Trump. He's leading a very different administration the way he's attacking things. And the American public is very much more in line with him than they were at any point during his entire first term.
Well, I would say, correction, this is not a very different Donald Trump. This is a very different Donald Trump as being viewed by voters in this
In the
moment
way he's going about things with Susan Wiles leading things. I think he is, going at things in a much less disorganized fashion, much more organized.
Take me back in history.
The mainstream media is not happy when they report news like this about Trump. They are not excited. They are not happy at all. Reading articles the other day, CNN boss instructed these people not to bash Trump. If you dare it, you can easily be fired. So their tone toward Trump is changing. They spent the whole year bashing him. Now, when you look at the way they're reporting, it is different from what we are observing, because their ratings started going down and they even decided to fire people, or they are still to do it. That is just a message to them.
So Democrats aren't just unhappy about this, they're turning on each other. That's right. The Hill reports that Jill Biden is mad at Nancy Pelosi after she called for her husband Joe to step down. You remember that? And that Kamala Harris feels dissed by Joe Biden for saying that if he had stayed in, he would have won the presidency. Congress is also butting heads about the best path forward. So how long can they afford to hold a grudge with each other before working on a plan to get power back? I ask you.
I was going to defer to the Democrats, but I'll go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that they need to stop fighting with each other and actually go back to their districts and their states and check in with the people that put them in office. Because the infighting, they all get... I really despise Congress and their lack of ability to do anything, not to mention the dirty money that circulates there. But they get so obsessed with each other, not just Democrats. Republicans do the same thing. They all play power games, partisan jerseys are put on. They need to go home. They need to go home and check back in and get a reality check.
Brooklyn accent. I went to college with him. I know him extremely well, and he talks real talk. And I have a completely different take on this. I think the Democrats are actually falling in line as opposed to fighting with each other. We just saw the Democrats, many Democrats, cross the aisle and work with Republicans on the Laken-Riley Act. And that act is basically going to allow undocumented immigrants to be deported even if they are accused of a crime.
Even if just accused.
Just
Yeah.
accused of a crime. Which is something
This is actually annoying. If someone commit a crime in your country, you should allow the person. That is according to Summer Austin. You should not deport the person. Hi. This is something, in fact, every person was supposed to support the bill. Yeah, because it's very normal not to allow criminals, but they would turn the story like if they just suggest that you commit a crime. Ha! I want to end the video by saying this for people who have been following me. You realize at the end of the day, I usually put videos at the end. This is for the algorithm. If you see this, you can skip. You can watch the video to a certain learn and stop.
Where awful things have happened. So
And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are a funky in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning, and I flew here last night.
You getting water to areas that need water
for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking straight. Remember it.
As a country about
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad.
Jordan.
In the 5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.
And he did this little dance.
Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, you had some.
And then we watch the news or talk to my friends.
Of all the calls you get from your
Got to spend a minute on the Obamas, or is it because there's trouble in paradise? There
believing I know the process.